Alright, so we're back and we're here to talk today about the home care robot. Now this home care robot is from DFRobot, and we've chosen this platform because it's the most robust. As you can see, you have a flat plane up here, and you have a lot of sensor mounts that you can put all around the unit. You have some bumpers here, they're actually some touch sensors, some big knobby wheels with stepper motors inside. And as you can see, there's a lot of sensor mounts everywhere. This is actually a servo mount. You can mount a servo so you can put arms if you want. As you can see, these are for ultrasonic sensors. We have more sensor mounts back here and a power switch, as you can see here, place to plug in the battery if you want to recharge it. Now this is going to be using a large battery that's going to be placed in the center, so deep inside of the core here. Now what are we going to do? What's a home care robot? Well, home care robot is just that, something that takes care of the house and watches over you. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of step through some of the things that we're thinking about doing in this introduction, and we're going to go forward from there. So some of the things that we think a home care robot should do is kind of watch out for smoke, fires, listen to sounds, intruders, glass breaking maybe, patrol the house, video, watch remotely. So in order to accomplish a lot of these things, we're going to need a big battery that can last a good 8 hours or so. That's number one. We already have this platform here that's going to serve as a good starting point. The other part that we're going to start off talking about also is that we're going to include an embedded PC, which we have here. Now this is the eBox 4300 with the Wi-Fi adapter card. Now this is a really nice unit. It comes with a bunch of stuff. As you can see, it's got Ethernet, video, PS2 ports, serial ports, stuff like that. USB in the front, SD support here, on and off. Takes 5-volt power, I believe. 5 volts. I believe what it is. And you have an on and off power switch in the back, and that's about it. So we're going to be using this. This is going to be mounted inside of that unit ultimately. Right now, it's not going to be. So what we're going to talk about doing are some of the sensors that we're going to actually put on. So DFRobot was nice enough to send us out a lot of sensors. So I basically broke it down into the basic sensors that they're giving us. Okay, so here we have a bunch of stacks. Now this is a whole cluster of different sensors, so I'll get in that in a minute. Let me just start off by talking about some of the basic ones. So this sensor here is an ultrasonic sensor from DFRobot, and this is using RS485, I think it is. It's a bus type connector, so you can daisy chain these together. So you can see it's an ultrasonic sensor, and you can daisy chain these. So basically each sensor will connect to each other. And it comes with a cable like this that connects directly into it. Now you have to make sure that your controller will support this. So we have an Arduino controller that's going to support this that we'll talk about in a little bit. Now we do have a lot of sensors that we're going to be plugging in, therefore we're going to need a lot of expansion. So when we get to that point, we'll talk about it. Some of the other things that we did is, ultrasonic sensors are good, but sometimes you need different readings. Why would you need different readings? Well, to start off, ultrasonic sensors are working, they work well outdoors. Sometimes indoors they do not. So for that case, what we've done is we've ordered from DFRobot some IR sensors as well. These are good indoors. However, when they're outdoors, they don't work well because of the sunlight. Sometimes also I've noticed on some of the sensors, I'm not sure about these, but if you shine a flashlight on it, sometimes it throws it off a bit. Now, some other things that we've done is that we've asked to get the line following sensors. So in case let's say, even though it's a home care, but let's say it's a office care robot, so you have it patrolling around the office and you want to, rather than have a lot of logic dictating where it's supposed to go, you just draw a line on the floor. Well, you can use these sensors here, which are the line following sensors from DFRobot, and we have 4 of these, and we can position them around the unit itself to follow a given line. Now that's one approach. There are other approaches to doing that, and this also comes with this cable, as you can see, which is nice. The nice thing about DFRobot is all their sensors are modular, easily plug and play, and takes very little effort to get them up and running. So those are the main sensors. So we have infrared, line following, ultrasonic. Now we go on to some of these here. Now what are all of these? So this one here is a sound sensor. Let's get the official word here. Yep, just a sound sensor from DFRobot, and we're not sure exactly how it works, but we'll find out through this. So you can adjust the sensitivity here with the pentometer, it looks like, and this is basically a microphone of some sort to listen for sound. So this might be a good starting point for us to use something to listen for a sound and actually find the sound or locate it, or react on it, saying sound has been, we've heard a sound, something's going on. Especially when the office is quiet or the home is quiet, you shouldn't have to, shouldn't be making any noises. Okay. Now here's another one. This is a magnetic induction sensor. Now I think this either can serve as a compass or it serves as detecting magnetic fields. So hopefully we can use it as a compass. I'm not sure, so we'll have to find that out. As you can see, it's just simple. It's got the atypical board, the black board from DFRobot, with the nice little module to plug in there. This one did not come with any cables, but rest assured, it's a standard 3-pin connector, so you should be able to find it just about anywhere. Now, what do we have here? This is an ambient light sensor, so this detects fluctuation in light, and you can go ahead and use this to know when maybe something's been turned on or off, maybe a flashlight. Something ticked it off when there's no lights on or whatever, and typically if there's no motion in your house and this gets ticked off, there's something going on. It could be that the robot moved into a smidge of sunlight or something, or it could be that somebody actually is in the house or in the office with a flashlight or turned on the lights moving around. It could also be programmed to react to light, so if it senses light, as maybe does a routine like sweeps the area to figure out who's there. Now this one here is the DFRobot flame sensor. So the flame sensor is just like this. It looks like an IR, or it has like an LED of some sort, but it's not. It's a flame sensor. I'm not sure how far away it can detect a flame, but this is supposedly detecting flames. So this will tell us if there's a fire outbreak in the area where the home care robot is located. So you can see there's a lot of things we're going to be able to do with this home care robot once we're done building it out. Okay, now this one is just an accelerometer. It's a it's a triple axis accelerometer, which basically tells you acceleration on 3 different axes, X, Y, and Z. And that takes here 3 connectors, 1, 2, and 3. I'm assuming 1 for each. Nice thing about this is that all these devices, except for the ultrasonic sensors, look to be analog. Now I'm not sure if any of you have worked with any devices like this, programming with Arduino boards, but some of the trickiest parts about programming with them is that you have to kind of code, if it's like on I2C or if it's on RS485, you have to code specifically to it. Whereas an analog sensor is a lot easier. You just kind of take a reading, and from that you can get an understanding of what it is. So again, that'll tell us, how this is tilted in the robot. So we'll mount this flush somehow onto the home care robot kit, so we'll know if we're falling over, if we're tilting to the left, tilting to the right, and so on and so forth. You'll also see triple axis accelerometers often in like aerial vehicles, so like when you see drones of some sort that people are making, RC drones. Okay, now here is a gas sensor. So hopefully this will be used to detect gas leaks in the area. So it has this wire meshy type sensor on the top, and just another analog port with a pentometer, I guess, to adjust it of some sort. So hopefully that'll help us find smoke. It could serve as a smoke detector and trigger off, an event for us of some sort, and we can act on it. Now I believe this next one is a humidity sensor. I'd have to double check online, but I'm pretty sure it is. I've seen this one before. Sure, no, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it looks like a temperature humidity sensor of some sort. We'll have to check it out. They call it the DHT11 sensor. So I'm assuming it's got to be humidity, temperature, and something else. Okay. And our last thing here is it says here a 4.6 to 46 volt 2 amp dual motor controller. So I'm assuming that we're going to be able to use this with the motors that are actually on the board, on the home care robot. Now some of the microcontrollers that we have, so for example, we have a DFRobot Romeo. I believe this is the Romeo. That comes with motor controllers, but I believe these are 1 amp. We stepped it up to here with a 2 amp, and it gives us a little more juice so we can drive those motors. And that's about it. And also, we've got a series of cables. Make sure you get enough of these, so you're going to need them for all your sensors. The more the merrier. One thing that we're going to talk about are the different types of components that we could be using. We could be using the Romeo, or we might be using the Arduino Mega board. The reason why we might be using this one is because we can slap on the I/O expansion, and this is really great. It's got a lot of GPIO, so general purpose I/O ports, so that's basically a 1 or a 0, and it's got all the analog ports you can possibly think of. It gives you a lot of expansion and quickly moves this up to speed. So as you can see, this is just a shield that mounts on top of the Mega board here. Nice and easy, and gives you all of this expansion, which we're probably going to use with all of these sensors that we have here. We're going to have to actually add it up and make sure we have enough. If not, we might have to opt to have multiple Arduino controllers. So maybe we'll use the Romeo combined with the Arduino Mega board. Now, we were thinking about doing maybe XB or stuff like that to communicate with the Arduino, but since we're going to be using the embedded PC eBox, this will easily plug in to the USB port, and hopefully we're using Windows CE on here, or Windows Embedded, and it can hopefully plug in from the USB here straight into the front of this and give us a direct interface into it, and then we can communicate with the embedded PC directly. Now, we didn't mention the camera that we're going to be adding to this, because the camera will be added onto this, and the beauty of the camera is that we're going to connect it directly to this box right here via USB, hopefully if we have enough ports, because we're already taking up a lot here. So we're going to have to think that out. That's about it. So that concludes the basic introduction and what we're planning on doing with the home care robot using the DFRobot platform and components. Next video, you'll expect to see more details about how we're going to do the sensors, how we're going to do the board, what we're going to do with this, all the details you can possibly think of. Take care and tune in soon.